Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Now, my question is this. If a fighter turns down the initial offer and makes a counter offer, are they putting duck sauce on the fried rice? Now, you can see right here, Jaron Ennis went on record and said that Brian Norman Jr. turned down the fight. Brian Norman Jr.'s dad came and left a little message there for Jaron, where he says, yo, people told you an MF lie. We said yes to the fight. We simply made a counter offer. Now, I'm going to tell you, making a counter offer, that's what you're supposed to do. In fact, I called your pops, Boogey Ennis, and told him after we accepted, he didn't know about it. We have plenty of time to make this fight happen next. You, sir, are not the boogeyman you think you are, okay, so hold on. You, sir, are not the boogeyman you think. You are, people just lie to you and say people don't want to fight you. F all that, we up next. Call her and tell him we up next. Stop that BS. We got plenty of time. The way you said we turned it down was hilarious. You are not the best, and we about to show you. Let's get it. Okay, there's a whole lot I could say about this passage, but you guys get the gist of what he's saying. Now, I'm going to tell you. If they made a counter offer, and Eddie Hearn decides to do something else, because I'm telling you right now, this isn't on Jaron Ennis. This is on Eddie Hearn. I'm at a point. I just did a video. If you just pay Jaron Ennis and Terrence Crawford the money they want to make the Ennis versus Crawford fight. Nobody wants to see Jaron Boots Ennis really fight Norman, Stan Eunice, and Barrios. I've done like 3 or 4 videos about that shit today. I even talked about it on live, right? But when you see stuff like this, who's at fault here? Because you have a guy like Brian Norman Jr. who got a big win over Alexis Rocha. But really, he's nothing. He's nobody. Right? And I'm just being raw and uncut. I'm not saying he can't fight. What I'm telling you is he's nobody. His dad is nobody. His team, they're nobody. They have a strap. Okay. That matters. But really, he's a nobody. And what they're doing, in my opinion, is the same stupid shit that Luis Ortiz and his team did to him when they got the call to fight Anthony Joshua. Talk about a dumb team who went back and counter-offered and wanted more money. And Eddie Hearn said, what did he say? F off. Moved on to another guy because he said you get an opportunity to fight for 3 belts. Fighting Anthony Joshua. Take this $5 million I'm going to give you. Don't worry about what we're making. Then Andy Ruiz comes along. Whatever deal they were giving, Andy Ruiz had enough sense to say, F this. I'm shooting for the stars. I'm going to land on the clouds. Even if I don't win, I make $5 million, more money I've ever made. My family's life has changed forever. And what did Andy Ruiz do? Shocked the world. Man landed on the clouds. The next time he had a rematch, shot for the stars, landed on the stars. Even though he lost, he was up there in the galaxy, in the Milky Way, up there with the goddamn Big Dipper. Because this man didn't let this counteroffer politics, unreasonable financial demands get in the way. And I have a feeling with Brian Norman Jr. and his pops, they go in the same direction. It's like you want to say, listen, I understand y'all want to make the most money. I understand boxing's prize fighting. But did you guys not learn from Luis Ortiz? So now you're going to pass up on whatever money they're giving you. Okay, how about this? To Brian Norman Jr. and his pops, right? Y'all going to pass up on it. And I get it. It's business. You got to make a counteroffer. You don't just want to take anything. You're going to fight Boots. You guys feel Boots is not the boogeyman. Word is Boots sparred you and ran you up out the gym. But I can understand you want more money. But if you're not going to fight him, then who are you going to fight? Because this is what Brian Norman Jr. has to deal with right here. Brian Norman Jr. This is him, the WBO champion, right? If he doesn't want to fight Boots, he got to fight Giasov. It's just mandatory. Now, if he fights Jaron Boots Ennis to unify the WBO and IBF, that's for a unified bout. The sanctioning body should agree to that. If not, okay, go fight Giasov for a tenth of what you're going to make fighting Boots. If for some reason Giasov bumps his head and can't fight, you fight Sasaki. What money's there unless you go to Japan, and Japan going to pay you, the Japanese promoters. Or you can sit there and fight Chikadze. Because Boots, I think Eddie Hearn is at a point where with Boots where he's like, okay, nobody wants to fight him. He's going to pay somebody some big money or decent money. But he'll probably end up paying it to Barrios. Because Barrios and his pops are not out here, and Barrios and his team are not out here saying nothing crazy on social media. See, that's the thing these guys keep getting wrong. I'm not saying to not use your voice, but they're so goddamn obnoxious and ignorant with it, man. They're very unprofessional. Eddie Hearn won't deal with that bullshit. Eddie Hearn will tell you, F off. You go get the money to somebody else, man. A little respect goes a long, long way. But that being said, in my opinion, since Eddie Hearn doesn't want to really pay Norman Jr. good money, sounds like he don't want to pay Barrios and Stan Eunice big money. To just avoid all of this, Boots is struggling to get a deal done because of financial demands. Crawford can't seem to get a deal done. Seems like financial demands with Canelo and whatever the issue is of him just not really wanting to mess around at 154. Just put the money into Crawford and Boots. Have Boots come to 154, which he'll do. Sure, he could care less about that belt at 147. He can easily get back down there and pick up a belt. And just make Boots and Crawford. I mean, to me, this is just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Just do it. It's the easiest route. You're not forcing anything. And you're happy. It's like going to buy a house. You know, the difference of me buying a $400,000 crib and a $500,000 crib is probably about maybe $300-400 a month in payments. I'm going to just pay the extra $300-400. You know what I'm saying? To get what the fuck I want. I'm not just going to come here and go this route just because it's not bad, but it's not really what I want. Nah, put your money into what you want. And if you really want Boots, you really want Crawford to fight a really good competition that's going to really entertain fans and everything, line up Crawford versus Boots. Stop playing around with the back and forth with these other guys. Anyway, y'all keep cool. Doesn't look like Brian Norman Jr. and his team are ducking. They're just trying to get the most money possible. But they're playing hardball with the wrong people. Nobody needs to come back and tell you anything. That's what they need to understand. I know he's the WBO champ, but Brian Norman Jr., he calls no shots. He's a nobody. You can't come out here playing like you big draws with Eddie Hearn. Them dudes don't care one shit about you. All they care about is making a fight for Boots, a good opponent, and paying the least amount of money to increase their profit margins. And y'all ain't gonna come in there and disrupt that. And that's just the raw and uncut. Anyway, your best of luck to Norman Jr. and his team. Maybe Eddie does it. Maybe there's some heat on Boots. Maybe Boots' pride gets in the way and says, all right, F it. Let's make the fight. I don't know. We're going to find out, right? Y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. I still think Boots and Crawford, just put Eddie Hearn, everybody involved, put your money into Boots and Crawford. Stop playing around. But if not, I mean, maybe Brian Norman Jr., aside from Boots, is the best at 147. I still think Kavaliauskas is a killer, but as far as champions, maybe Boots should just clip Brian Norman Jr., like Crawford clipped Madrimov, and be like, all right, been there, done that. Who's next? Like Samuel Peter at the end of the fight, his post-fight interview. I want who next? In the breeze.